Part 12 of What If the final season of Game of Thrones was really good. So Jaime has just sacrificed himself to save Daenerys, and a large portion of the Night King's army are coming towards Arya, Melisandre, and Davos. Now, in terms of proximity to the throne room and the Night King, Davos, Melisandre, and Arya are much closer to the throne room than Jon and the Hound because of the route that they took to the throne room. So basically, Jon and the Hound are taking the long way to the throne room, while Melisandre, Arya, and Davos are closer to the throne room, but have to go through an entire army to get inside. Now, this allows Jon and the Hound to get to the throne room first. They're in. Now, once they're inside, they see who's been guarding the Night King, 2 head White Walkers, and the Zombie Mountain. Now, Jon and the Hound see that they're outnumbered 4-2, so they don't move towards the group right away. They all get into a stare down from across the throne room, waiting for someone to make the first move. Now, not far down the hallway, Arya, Melisandre, and Davos are fighting their way through the big group of White Walkers to get to the throne room, and they're getting close. That is when they're met up by Brienne, Tyrion, Bronn, Sansa, a bunch of humans who are able to get through a bunch of the White Walkers and are now fighting with Arya, Melisandre, and Davos in that hallway area. This fighting gives Melisandre and Arya the opportunity to get into the throne room with Jon and the Hound. And now the whole strike team is in the throne room, with the exception of Davos, who's outside the throne room doors with Brienne and the humans fighting to keep those whites from getting into the throne room. Now, once the entire strike team is in the throne room, the Night King stands up from the throne and raises his arms. Now, Jon knows what's about to happen, so he turns around to the Hound and Melisandre and says, "Bar the door." As the throne room doors are being shut, Jon sees Daenerys being protected by Brienne, Bronn, the other humans. They lock eyes, and Jon screams, "Run!" And it's at that moment that all the dead people outside the throne room rise up, and the humans have no choice. They gotta get the hell out of there. And at that same moment in the throne room, the 2 head White Walkers charge towards our strike team. The Zombie Mountain also starts to walk towards the strike team, but the Night King signals towards the mountain to stay back, so he stands guarding in front of him. Melisandre, knowing that they need to keep the door locked, uses some fire magic to engulf the entire throne room door in flames. This is a good plan, but that means she's out of commission in terms of fighting because she's got to be the one to hold the door shut using the magic. So that means that Jon, Arya, and the Hound are the ones to battle the 2 head White Walkers. Now they're struggling to fight these 2 White Walkers because they're very good fighters. That's why the Night King would keep them around as his bodyguard. This splits up into 2 fights, Jon and Arya fighting one of the White Walkers, and the Hound on his own fighting the other one. The sequence ends with Jon and Arya defeating their White Walker and the Hound defeating his. The Night King looks down at him and he's pissed off. He sends forward the Zombie Mountain, perfectly teeing up the Clegane Bowl. Like and follow for part 13.